Dark Matter, Episode 8, Jupiter, is pretty decent. It feels like the chicken's coming home to roost on a narrative level, and the show finally making good on its concept of multiple realities and versions of the same person. With Jason having made it back home in Episode 7, he finally comes face to face with Jason 2, who might not be the only Jason he has to worry about after all. It still isn't perfect, of course. I still don't care very much about any of it, but on a superficial entertainment level, I started to see the appeal here. A little bit, anyway. Jupiter begins with some Jason on Jason violence, which introduces the idea that there aren't just two of them to worry about. While it should have been obvious to anyone who has thought about the concept a little, there are infinite Jasons, and they all think they're the original. Nobody wants to be Jason 2, do they? Episode 8 does an okay job of relaying this idea to the audience by having Jason 2 and another Jason discuss it outright. It reiterates that Jason 2 is the villain by having him kill versions of himself without really paying it much mind. We already knew he was a crazy narcissist, but this is taking it to something of an extreme. One person who definitely knew Jason 2 was a crazy narcissist is Daniela, who has been putting the pieces together for quite some time that her husband isn't who he says he is. When the sudden arrival of a new mechanic, Ryan, only adds a new layer of suspiciousness to the whole thing. Daniela returns to the storage unit. Inside, she finds pictures of her, Charlie, and Jason, and money in various currencies. It's not looking good when she gets a call from jail to bail Jason out of custody. The real Jason deliberately got himself arrested by smoking a cigar indoors, a baller move, to be fair, so that he could have a one-on-one with Daniela without Jason 2 getting involved. Daniela is understandably suspicious, but Jason proves his point by having her call his doppelganger and set him up with a fake memory. Jason 2 tries to dutifully play along with his wife's desire to revisit an old holiday destination, not realizing that they've never actually been there. Daniela and Jason agree to meet later, and the episode's title, Jupiter, is the code phrase they agree on so that Jason can identify himself as the real version. By the end of Dark Matter, Episode 8, Daniela, Charlie, and Jason are all on the run from several other Jasons, including Jason 2, who Daniela has pushed down the basement stairs. To tell you the truth, I have no idea how many Jasons there are at this point. I suspect nobody does, and I also suspect that the finale will utilize this gimmick to its fullest extent. But at least the show's finally exciting. Well, maybe exciting is a strong word, but it's at least better and pacier than it has been for several episodes. That feels about right as we head into the finale, and hopefully it can sustain this newfound momentum and stick the landing. What do you think? Tell us in the comments and keep watching Film Buff Baby.